Hi, I'm Jeff Disher from OpenAutonomy. Today I'm going to be talking about why I built OpenAutonomy, why I think it's important, and why I want to drive this forward and get more people involved. I think I can explain the moment when I first realized that I needed to build something that was going to be as ambitious as OpenAutonomy, something that would allow us to go beyond the social networking problem into all aspects of connecting applications on the internet. And it was just a simple anecdote. A few years ago, I was out at a movie with some friends. The previews played through. One of the ads amongst the previews was for a car company. Normally you expect at the end of the ad, the company to show its URL. Something like carcompanyname.com. Well, I expected that to happen, but that's not what happened. They put something else instead, and this is what really scared me. Instead they said facebook.com/carcompanyname. It was at that moment that I realized that social networks don't threaten just communication and privacy and some amount of freedom. They threaten how we access all information. Because what happens if everything slowly moves inside a box controlled by one company? What if the internet age actually is under threat because of this? What if they get to control not just how you access information, but also what information you access? This could be a real threat. It could really undermine everything we've been building for the past couple decades. And for what? So I realized that it isn't sufficient just to tackle the social networking problem. You need to make it such that your solution can allow people to connect any kind of information, or isolate pieces of information that they think are sensitive. So this is why I went on to build OpenAutonomy, and why I think it's really important that this succeed and that we get lots of people involved. So now that you know the why of why this was important, why this had to be built, okay, well, how does it solve the problems that I've outlined? What does OpenAutonomy do that gets you away from needing to put everything back into one box? Well, one of the main reasons why a lot of sites do that, why they try to control everything, why you need to have an account everywhere, is that there's no way for them to be able to tell who you are otherwise. Now, there are solutions to this. OpenAutonomy is one of them. It's similar to an older technology called OpenID, which actually allows you to connect anywhere as long as you exist somewhere. So this means that you can be a user on OpenAutonomy.com, say, and you can go log in on any of the other sites that run OpenAutonomy servers, and you don't expose your password or personal details to them at all to do this. But it allows you to log in there. That way you can interact with their services in a way that's high level. Now, ideally, most services are provided even if you're anonymous. But sometimes you have to be able to do things like you want to comment on a friend's blog or something like that. Well, it has to know who you are, so it knows who to say, like who's signing off on the message. Or maybe you have data there, and it needs you to sign in so it knows that you're allowed to access it. So sometimes there are cases for this. So the other part of the problem, though, is once you've solved the problem of how do I log in somewhere else, the next part of the problem is how do I actually connect my data? Because what if I have services on multiple different websites that I want to use? Like how most people use the internet today. They'll have some data stored on one site, they'll have photo sharing on another, they'll have maybe a weblog somewhere else. They have all these different services and they have to maintain them all individually because none of them interoperate. Well, that's the main problem we were trying to solve with OpenAutonomy. That's the one that hasn't been done before. Everyone else has their way of logging in across sites, or their way of solving distributed social networking problems. But not all problems. We should be able to come up with a way to describe how we can interact across multiple sites. It shouldn't be special that you be an OpenAutonomy server and you put everything in that and then it can connect to other ones. No, it should be you just have services that exist all over the place and you can connect them all. You can say that these are all mine. And then those applications can now interact together. For example, you could do something like you could be using off-site OA storage as off-site backup. So you could be, every night synchronizing your data using OA Sync onto this off-site cloud storage. So now you have a backup copy of your data on the internet, and your other applications can now use that too. So maybe you've also got photo sharing or something like that in OpenAutonomy, and you wanted to be able to expose that information, the backups of the photos you already have, in a photo album. you should be able to do that. It shouldn't all need to be on the same site. We need to be able to connect across boundaries. That's the main thing. That's the main technical challenge behind Open Autonomy, the problem that hadn't been solved before. So the next obvious question is, okay, now that we know the why and the how do I get involved? What's the right way to, like, how can I play with this stuff? How can I help out? How can I contribute to this sort of initiative? And, well, I'll tell you a couple of ways. The easiest way to get involved and start interacting with this is you can create an account on OpenAutonomy.com. Any of the links on the site, you just fire off an email to request that you be invited, and you'll get an invite email, and then you can start using it right from there. That allows you to do everything that's shown in the other videos regarding any of the Open Autonomy services, and it even allows you to start trying to build your own if you wanted to. You don't need to control the server to create applications that interact with the server. So that's kind of the clever part. You could go one step further. You could go to SourceForge and you could download the Open Autonomy server implementation and just run it on your own space. Say you want to control everything yourself, but you still want to be able to communicate across boundaries, but you want to have complete control over all your data and all your applications. Okay, fine, you can do that. You can go get the tools directly from SourceForge, run it yourself. You can even interact with people on OpenAutonomy.com, even though OpenAutonomy.com will never see your data. It'll just see what you're talking about to anyone who already exists there. So this allows you to complete control, but still the ability to interact with other people and to socialize on an open network. So this is important. And of course, there's various other ways to try and contribute or interact. You can do things like this, create videos that document your experiences with it, other applications that interact with Open Autonomy, either as web apps or even as offline native apps that actually can interact with your Open Autonomy identity, much the way things like OA Sync does, used for offsite cloud synchronization. So there's lots that can be done. At the very least, just speak up. There's lots of information on our website about how to contact us, and you can find out from us where we're going with this, what things we think are important. You can suggest what you think is important, because there could be something that's missing. Maybe we didn't think of a problem that you have, but we've almost got it. Okay, work with us. We'll build that into what we're doing. We'll make sure that everyone has the support required to interact with your application or to solve your problem. Maybe it's really common. Maybe we just didn't notice. And that extensibility is core. That's one of the main things that is done within Open Autonomy, is extensibility in the application layer. So get in touch and we can work together to build something great.